feel bad. I woke up late is the problem.
Okay, now see if you can deactivate the perimeter fusion turrets from inside.
Hey, team. Just wanted
But it's fine.
to say how proud of you I am. I'm sorry I can't be there with you today, but you know how hard these massages are to reschedule.
You know how hard it is to reschedule a massage. Yeah, it is, isn't it? Oh, fuck you. I didn't see him. Okay.
Now see if you can deactivate the perimeter fusion turrets from
Let's get Mr. Zircon. Let's get our Warmonger.
inside.
Hey, team. Just wanted to say how proud of you I am. I'm sorry I can't be there with you today, but you know how hard these massages are to reschedule.
Mr. Zircon is here to kill. Look like you could do with a good killing.
Hell yeah. Honestly, if I could be Clank, I wouldn't complain. You have a jetpack. Why do you need the bridge,
Ready
dude?
for this?
I don't understand.
My whole life.
The bridge was there for Ratchet to get across, not for anyone else to get across in the original game. Look how fucking big that gold bolt is. That gold bolt was never there. But I'm not complaining. That's pretty cool. The more gold bolts, the better, man.
Oh man, 2 tanks!
2 tanks. Die!
Yeah, 1 takedown.
Take it!
And you can't even kill us galactic rangers? There's
Take it!
your pride. You like living underground?
Mr. Zircon is here to kill.
Okay, you're clear. Let's get to the Star Watch defense cannon.
Here we go. This thing is so fucking big, dude. Oh, hey, Carl, guess what?
Mr. Zircon is bored.
You remember, like, how I tweeted a while ago? I was like, look, all I want to do is watch River of Fundament, which is a movie. But it's just not... see, there's a guy named Matthew Barney, and he's an artist. And, he's such an artist that he refuses to, like, let his, certain movies of his that he directs, he refuses to let them be, like, screened anywhere outside of, like, like, museums and shit. And art shows. So typically the only way to see his shit is to pirate it. However, I found, and even then, it's pretty hard to pirate his shit. Sometimes it can be really hard to find. Cause like for instance, he had a whole series of films, 5 movies, called the Cremaster Cycle, and those were actually pretty easy to find if you wanted to like pirate them. River of Fundament, it's like nowhere to be found. However, I just found it on a place called archive.org, like pretty well-known website, and it's just there in 3 parts. It's like, what the fuck? I thought I'd never watch this movie. Like, you can just watch it for free on the website, which technically isn't illegal for you to do. Pretty cool.
We're at the defense
And it's in good quality and everything.
We need to get this thing online and fast.
Perhaps the trespasser will be useful here.
But yeah, I finally found it, Carl. Now I just need to find a time where I want to spend,
Upgraded security.
because I want to watch it all in one go, right?
Now test the active perfect. Thanks. And be sure to use this new functionality from now on.
What the fuck? Why? This is actually weird. But yeah, now I just need to find the time where I can, like, just sit there and watch 9 hours of movie without feeling like I'm gonna get tired or something like that. There's also a 12-hour movie that was made in like the 60s, maybe 70s. It's a French New Wave film. And I've been trying to, I have it on Blu-ray. I've been trying to watch it for years, but like it just, it's hard to set aside time for a 12-hour movie. Like, yeah, I can watch it in like different cities, like what? Okay, look, no matter what I do with this. Oh, I forgot. She was telling me about the ring power. See, that's something new.
Nice work, Ratchet. Hop on the defense cannon. I'll cover you.
The 12-hour movie I'm talking about is called Out 1. I heard it's like a masterpiece. But then again, a lot of people in the art world, or art film kind of
We're gonna take down those
art house
warships
film
one
world,
by
they
one. When the cannon charges, open fire.
if a movie's like 14 hours long, they'll just automatically say that it's a masterpiece. Like I went to see this one movie that was 14 hours. Depending on the TV series, if it's a mini series, yes. Keyzor. However, those are cut and edited in a certain way so that it's episodic, right? Whereas the films that I'm talking about are cut and edited as one single piece.
Clank, did you see that?
Like, there's no...
No, but congratulations.
there's none of the you know, oh, new episode shit. It's just all one big fucking thing. And so that's why, cause like, if it's an episodic series, like mini-series or some shit, I can easily get myself to like watch that shit, cause I don't feel as bad, cause there's always like a credit sequence at the end of every episode or some shit, right? But if I just have to choose when to stop watching, I don't feel right. I just want to keep watching. If that makes sense. So this is a bit different. You have to shoot the smaller ships to charge up the big cannon, and then you can use the big cannon to shoot the big ships. It was never like that in the original. It was always just one turret.
Fire again! You got it! Nice shooting!
But does that make sense, Tizor? Because, yeah. Mini-series are basically just long movies. Absolutely. But I don't feel the same, I mean, I know it's all just in my head, me stressing about absolutely nothing.
Starwatch ion cannon at 75%.
But when when it has like an end credit sequence at the end of every episode, I can choose which episode to like pause on and pick it up tomorrow or something. If it's all edited as one coherent piece that just keeps going, I don't want to pause it. Not even to go to the bathroom. I don't want to do any of that shit. I just want to watch it. Oh yeah, but there was this
We should head back to the ship.
Oh, by the way, Carl, I meant to say, thanks for the tier 1 gift sub to Magic Minzy. I must have missed that the other day because I drank too much. But yeah. No, like, there was this one movie last year or the year before? It was before COVID. At least. So it still could have been like early last year. Anyway. Oh, look, a snowman.
You did it, kid! We're getting reports that the rest of Drek's fleet is retreating. Laris, confirm.
Copy that, Brax. All remaining warships are turning back to
There was a movie that came out that was 14 hours long. I bought tickets to go see it. And it's funny. You know how I'm saying, like, oh, I want to...
Copy that, Captain.
I don't
See you in a bit.
want to, like, stop watching the movie and then pick it up later. The way that they were screening it was they showed half of it on Saturday, the other half on Sunday. That's the only way I was able to see it. However, I got 6 hours in the first movie. And it was so, or in the first half of the movie, and it was so bad. So bad. And I didn't feel, like, that was one of the few times that I actually walked out of a movie. And I never went back for the second part. But everybody that was, like, goes to my art house theater, they were all like, oh, it's like a masterpiece. Oh my god, he worked on it for a whole decade making this movie. And I'm just sitting here going, this is like shit. Like, I'm glad that other people appreciated it, but fuck. I was not willing to drive 30 minutes to get to the theater the next day and sit there for like another 7 hours, hating the movie. I felt like 6 hours was enough to know whether I wanted to finish it or not. You know what I mean? Hey, I'm glad I tried it though, because what if it was like really good? It's just like this no-name director who's just been like has money to like pay for his own movie to be made, and he spent 10 years. And like, dude, at the beginning of the movie, it's called La Flor. There were some good performances in it, I must say. But all in all, it's just like, what the fuck are, why? So, the very beginning of the movie starts with the director talking straight to the camera, and he's like sitting at a park bench, and then he takes out a Sharpie, and he draws like on a piece of paper. Okay, so this movie, but he's saying it in, I forget what language. It's like a Latin, like it might be Spanish, but I wasn't sure. I forget. But you know, he's like saying, okay, so this is this movie's split into 5 sections. The first section is a spy thriller, or something like that, and then the second section is a zombie drama. And then the third section is a blah, blah, blah. And then the fourth section, I don't even know what it was. Oh yeah, and he says like, the first section doesn't have a start, but the second section only has a start. Or something like that. It's like, just make like 5 different movies, dude. I don't know. It's just like I felt like he was just trying to be different and weird for no apparent reason.
Ready to fly, just need some coordinates.
Poketaru. Okay, so this is interesting. Usually in the previous game, or in the original, you can't go to Poketaru without going to Quartu first.
Ready to go knock on Drek's door?
Or wait, sorry, Quartu's a different planet than I remember. Sorry, no. Quartu's different. I was thinking about, yeah, where is that planet? The Blarg planet. Orxon.
Like the cannon is still
I haven't seen Orxon yet. Interesting. Hey guys, you know something cool? I can actually give my dad his PlayStation 4 back now. Because all the games that I want to play on the PS5 are that are PS4 games are able to be played on the PS5. Yep. I should probably tell him that. No, yeah, that is a great thing that they did with the PS5. Like, yeah, even though you can't, there isn't like backwards compatibility for PS3 or PS2 or PS1. It's, for the most part, the games that I want to play are backward compatible on PS5. For the PS4, I mean, is what I'm saying.
Poketaru's water supply was in trouble. If Ratchet and Clank failed to destroy Drek's hydro harvesters, this tropical paradise would become a desert wasteland.
What? No new weapon? Oh, it's locked.
Hey, over here!
Okay. Oh, shit. Oh, fuck.
Are you the wombats my brother told me about? Well, dip me in breadcrumbs and feed me to a snaggle beast. Grim told me he was friends
Dip
with
me
the
in
wombats, but I
breadcrumbs.
didn't believe him. I've never seen one in real life before.
Dude, they really skimped out
You
on
must
these
be
cutscenes, didn't they?
This is so weird. the
Ratchet
resemblance.
looks like a fucking, like, he's got that
Uncanny,
1,000-yard
I know.
stare.
Grim asked us to help you destroy Drek's hydro harvesters.
If you're gonna destroy those things, we're gonna have to upgrade your ship.
Good question.
Just so
You know
happens
something
the
funny,
best
Tizor?
upgrade guy
In
the galaxy is here for a comic book convention, right?
Secret
Follow
Agent
me, I'll
Clank,
take
I
you
think
to
he
him.
drowns underwater. But in every other game, when he's on your back and you're swimming,
The
nothing
Bloods
matters.
have been coming ashore ever since the Blarg started attacking. Nasty little devils. But
Yeah,
tasty
he
if you know
did
how
sell
to
out to
cook 'em.
Hollywood. So far, this level is exactly the same. Although, this is a different character. And he's a different species as well. But so far, these enemies, this layout, this guy is a lot bigger than he was in the first game. Wow. He's fucking huge. Jeez.
Hey, that was pretty good. Did my brother teach you to do that?
No, I taught myself over 15 years.
Come on, my boat's
You
this
fucker.
way.
Mr. Zircon is here to kill.
I actually had a lovely fishing trip planned before these hydro harvesters showed up and ruined everything.
Oh, how long was your trip?
Going on about 10 years now. The fishing was just starting to
Dude,
get
I
good,
saw
too.
Ratchet and Clank in theaters opening day. Not because I thought it would be good, but because I would let Ratchet and Clank simultaneously, both of them, fuck me up the ass. And I kind of have been my entire life. And it was terrible.
Need some nanotech.
It was absolutely terrible. Oh fuck! I'm in the water!
Now is not the time for a swim.
Now is the time for a swim, you motherfucker.
Hey, where'd you go? Whoops, Lomback's overboard. Come on back now. We have an ocean to save.
Okay,
Hey, where'd you go?
is this a ladder? It is.
Now is not the time for a swim.
Take it!
Let's keep moving.
I think my favorite addition to this game, my favorite new weapon, is the pixelizer. It's really cool. It operates just like a normal classic Ratchet and Clank shotgun, but it turns enemies into pixels. That's just fun. They have it in the new game apparently too, which is nice. It's always fun to see a recurring weapon.
Mr. Zircon.
Here comes some more. Hey,
Wow, you look at that. Over there's the Torgoff waterfall. Grim and I used to trek to the...
Ooh, open our cards. Whoa, they've got Angela? Funny story about Angela. Look at her. She looks like a female Ratchet, right? Right? So, Angela Cross, this character on this card, I actually have some lore to share with you about 2 characters in this section. Starting with Angela. In Ratchet and Clank Going Commando, the second game in the series on the PS2, she appears. Notice how she doesn't have a tail. However, she looks just like a Lombax, doesn't she? Like, she looks like a female Ratchet. Maybe a bit taller. Now, in, she was only ever in that one game. And then, so there were 2 more PlayStation 2 games, 2 PlayStation Portable games, and then they made a PlayStation 3 game, right? On the PlayStation 3, for, when we played Tools of Destruction, the whole story for that game was, oh, Ratchet is a Lombax. He's never even met a Lombax before. He's the only Lombax in the universe, right? Which makes you go, wait, what about Angela? Did he not meet Angela? And then, 2 games later, in A Crack in Time, still on the PS3, while you're flying around in your ship, you're listening to the radio, and so even though she was retconned out of the series altogether, just for this, like, Lombax, like, Chosen One story, that Ratchet's the Chosen One, blah, blah, blah. In, A Crack in Time, over the radio, if you're listening, at one point, the two, like, radio co-hosts or whatever would say, one of them says, so the disappearance of Angela Cross, blah, 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 blah. The only other Lombax we've ever seen, blah, 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 outside of Ratchet, blah, 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 blah. And then the other person, she says, wait, but is she really a Lombax? She doesn't have a tail. And then the other guy's like, well, actually, female Lombaxes don't have tails. So it was retconned that she wasn't a Lombax. And then it was retconned again that she was. And now, in the next game that we're about to play when I'm done with this, there's a female Lombax named Rivet. And guess what? She has a tail. Yeah, it's like a triple retcon now. Now that the female Lombax has a tail in the new game. Yeah, I know. Okay. Now this one, I have a funny story about this one. Look at that. So this is Darla Gratch. But that's not what Darla Gratch has looked like ever. This character, the way that she looks is she looks like one of the announcers in Ratchet Deadlocked. Her name is Juanita. So if you actually Google Darla Gratch, and then you Google Ratchet Deadlocked Juanita, because I don't know Juanita's last name, you'll see what I'm talking about. Yeah, this is actually the character model, just like revamped for PS4, from Ratchet Deadlocked on the PS2. It's Juanita, but she's renamed as Darla Gratch, who was the original, which was the name of the original newscaster that was featured in the first 3 Ratchet and Clank games. And I actually, on Twitter, when this game came out, on Twitter, and I saw this card, I actually tweeted to Insomniac. I said, yo, dude, why does Darla Gratch look like Juanita? And then Insomniac replied to me on Twitter and said, Remakes are weird, man. And that's it.
The top of that thing every holiday looking for gold bolts.
Oh
and
my
such.
fucking god.
Then one day he dared me to ride down on a barrel. I tell you.
I think
I've
it's
never
because
seen
someone
my
in the
father so
movie,
angry.
who made the movie,
Those
because
were
the
days.
people at Insomniac didn't have really much to do with the movie at all, from my understanding. And so they just kind of had to build their game off of what was included in the movie.
I think you got them all. Come on.
Whoa.
Of course, Ratchet knew he'd have to surface to breathe.
Nice.
Come on, my boat's this way.
Yeah, they should. Insomniac should hire me for like all their like lore shit.
So
I could
how's
even
old
make
Grim
like some
doing
cool
these
weapons,
days?
maybe.
haven't
Maybe
heard
I
much
have
from
some
him
good
since we
some
moved
good
here from
ideas.
the
Who knows?
Polaris Galaxy. He runs a garage, right?
Yeah, on Velden.
Hey Carl, could you call? You're on the horn now. Ah, dude. See, I was just about to ask you.
And now you're a galactic ranger. Grim must be so proud.
Actually, I don't know. I was supposed to help him with some proton stuff,
Executive Vice President.
but I
Yeah.
left in kind of a hurry. Hope he's not too angry with me.
Ah, he'll be all right. You're out protecting the galaxy.
Yeah, the
What's that
Jenkins
compared to
Slinger.
a scrub?
I mean, these games don't shy, even though they're E10 plus nowadays, they used to be T. Even though they're E10 plus nowadays, they don't shy away from like alcohol references. So I bet we could get away with the Jenkins Slinger. Oh, and what if there's like a certain species of enemy that you have to like hunt down and harvest their shit?
Ah, great. The bridge is out. These blarg are really
So that
starting
you
to
can
cramp
even
my fishing
use
trip. Do me a favor and see if you
the
can activate
Jenkins
from
Slinger.
the other side.
It's like more of a gadget than it is a weapon, but it's both.
Thanks. Come on. It's not too far now.
You gotta harvest that shit so you can ferment it, dude. Ferment that shit.
Oh boy. That's not good. Looks like the blarg have reached the city.
Looks like the Puff Boys are giving them a run for their money.
We won't be able to reach my friend until the ground troops are cleared
What's back
out.
here, card?
We're on it. Stay here and keep
How
safe.
did I know? You have a septic tank there? What do you think we're gonna get? Skid McMarks!
Set complete.
Dude, 5 extra %. Dude, we got Skid Marks himself. Dude, it's funny. I never got the pun there. Skid McMarks until I started replaying these games just a few weeks ago. It's kind of funny.
Standing. You just completed a card set.
Mr. Zircon is here to kill.
I think that's the last of them.
Detecting another bridge control switch in the vicinity. We should activate it so Felton is not left behind.
Take it! Oline, I hope you're doing well in WoW. Are you still on the same goddamn raid?
Look over there, the Pocataro Tiki Lounge and karaoke bar. With any luck, my engineer friend will be there. The guys on my Hollow Game forum call him Big Al.
Oh, we know him. We met him in Alero City. Nice dude. A little weird.
Call of Duty.
Yeah, that's Al. But he's the best upgrade
Could
guy
someone
in the
please
business.
ban Oline? We don't tolerate Call of Duty players here. Goddamn. Wow, Carl, you actually banned her. I was just saying exclamation mark ban. But, yeah, fuck you, Oline. Can you imagine actually playing like a shit tier game like Call of Duty?
Hey, Al, can you open up?
I'm just kidding. Hey, Oline, I hope you enjoy. Are you playing Warzone? No, it doesn't, Carl. Shut the fuck
hail
up.
Big Al the Conqueror. The glory of his
Carl,
level
this is
20
my chat.
spellcaster burns
My
brighter than
stream.
the 4th star of Julius Major.
Oh, you're playing with your WoW friends. That's so cute. Hey guys, do you want to play a game with like some actual gameplay in it? Okay, shut the fuck up, Oline. Shut the fuck up. Hey, it's Al!
Hey, Ratchet, Clank. Small galaxy.
Usually here we wouldn't be meeting Al, we'd be meeting Al's brother.
Listen, we're here to help take out these.
They got rid of Al's brother.
Think you could help us upgrade our onboard weapon system?
Always happy to help the Galactic Rangers. How about a Tesla Blast weapon kit?
No, but is it Warzone?
Polarized electro emitters to increase propulsion by 128.7%.
No, you do not make friends on COD. You always...
Sounds like exactly
Yeah,
what
Warzone.
we need. You lead the way. We'll cover you.
I downloaded Warzone once and then deleted it like a month later. Because I just never played it.
Yeah.
Oh, look! They brought this race back. See that race on the left? That's a race that's been around since Ratchet and Clank Quest for Booty. Interesting. Look, now we're gonna wreck their shit. Okay, what do we want to level? Probably the Warhammer, the Warmonger. I mean, not Warhammer. That's a game.
That's how you make a great weapon even better.
Hell yeah. Okay, so now we have to fly a ship, I think. If it's like the original.
I'm starting to get real tired.
Okay, so this is different.
You know they showed up just as I was about to speak on a panel about everything wrong with comic book-based holo films. All the great bloggers were on it. Me, Stuart Zergo, Obsidia Van Schmoot.
And Schmoot was there? Really? Oh, I love her. She hates everything.
Oline is ashamed that she was Soulsborne hitless runner, and never had the skill to become, join Team
We have reached
Hitless.
our destination.
I don't blame her. It's pretty reprehensible. No, it's true. Yeah, you're right, Orlean. It's true.
Here we are. All right, let's pop the hood and get you that weapon system. Reinstalling weapon software. Rebooting system. Done.
Tesla Blast weapon kit detected. Happy hunting.
Wait, Orlean, you're not in Carl's corner? What the fuck? What the fuck?
What are you waiting for? Take out those hydro
Dude,
harvesters.
I need to get. We need to get Cell. Carl, we need to get Cell and Quirp in Carl's corner. I think.
Use your Tesla rockets. Shoot down those blarg saucers. They'll drop ammo and health for you to pick up.
I only joined a team. I never thought I'd join a team, but I only wanted to. I only joined a team because Carl asked me to, and you know, I love Carl.
Rockets from those blarg saucers.
I can get down with some Carl. Wait, I thought Angrish doesn't, like, control that shit anymore. I thought it was all you now.
Rockets from those blarg saucers.
Mission replenished.
Your new test.
I just can't. Honestly, my biggest thing that like I hate about Orlean is that she refuses to tell her WoW and COD fans about her NSFW Discord. My biggest claim to fame.
Gotta switch to Tesla rockets.
It's like, come on, dude. You know people only check Olean's Discord just because I post shit in her fucking
We must use our Tesla rockets.
NSFW.
Almost out of Tesla rockets.
You guys know this, right? I'm the only person keeping Olean, like, alive in the Twitch sphere.
Ammo acquired. Tesla Blast rockets acquired.
Your new Tesla rockets should be able to damage the hulls on those hydro harvesters.
Well, Carl, I don't know if your brain can comprehend what is typically posted in Olean's NSFW.
That's one hydro harvester down, 2 to go.
I recently found a picture of a guy,
Taking out our hydro
like, with an erect penis, of course.
I want that water.
And there was a butter knife directly down the center of his urethra. And honestly, I thought it was well received.
We gotta switch to We require rockets. Concentrate fire on those blarg saucers. Do a barrel roll.
No, yeah, Carl, you should if that like I've posted worse in her NSFW. You should probably just stay out of there.
Yeah, one hydro harvester left.
I need therapy now and an exorcism. Well, I try to exercise, Carl, regularly.
Make it rain!
That's all of them.
Yeah! You two saved the resort, and probably the entire planet.
All in a day's work.
honestly, it's just really fun to try to like think of, you know, the craziest, like most brutal, without being like gore porn, like, and like just outlandish sexual shit, and then Google it, and it's crazy. If you fucking type in the right thing to Google images,
Certainly sounds useful.
it'll pop up.
Recalibrating the avionics port,
Like someone's done it,
updating
dude.
the software,
Someone's done it.
Updating, still updating, and presto. She's all ready for you. Technically, you need a Class B license to operate one of these beauties. But what the heck? You two are Galactic Rangers. It should help you access those pumping stations.
Okay, everybody, I'm gonna stand up, walk around. I'll be right back.
Why don't you try it out on that gear crank over there?
Hello? Hello? I almost grabbed my Xbox controller. I'm playing on a PS5, bro. What the fuck? Oh, shit. That's a new way to
Security barrier
do that.
disabled.
Perhaps we can find our way into the pumping station now.
Hey, do you guys want to hear a super embarrassing story, but something that I'm not really ashamed of because it's just part of my past now, and maybe you could help others if they are in a similar situation? You don't want to? Okay, then never mind. Fuck you. You don't want to hear it at all? Really? Why not? Kappa. Okay. I'll tell you guys. Okay, so, back when I used to work at Regal at the movie theater, which you guys have probably heard me talk about a lot, I, became a manager. It was my first, like, job. My first real job. I became a manager after only 3 months. Because I guess the other managers were just super impressed with
It's like rotten amoeboid slime.
my abilities or whatever. I don't know.
Some nice loot in here.
Even though I had no managerial experience to begin with. Outside of teaching karate. Because okay, so here's a history of my job work. So when I was in high school, I was only 14. My mom was like, "Look, you need to make some money. We don't make enough money," and so she made me work at Ace Hardware, where she worked as a part-time job, right? But at the time I was in high school, I was doing the plays in high school, so that means I had to take extra time out of my day to stay after school to, you know, rehearse and all that shit for the plays, for drama club, for theater. And then on top of that, every Tuesday and Thursday night after school, like literally an hour after school, maybe 2, I had to go to karate, which was fine. And I also had to go to karate every Saturday morning as well, which was all right, right? But that on top of every single other night when I wasn't A, rehearsing for a play, or B, taking karate classes, I was working at 14 years old, which technically I think is underage. Not exactly illegal. Not exactly legal. I mean, yeah, I was paid under. Like, I was paid. Like under the whatever it's called. However you say that shit. I was paid in cash. But I was still 14, which is still, I think, illegal for me to do that. Anyway, I started losing my mind, so I gave up karate instead because my mom wanted me to make money. Yeah, under the table. There you go. Anyway, I ended up quitting that job because I wanted to kill myself. Like, not even joking. Like, I'm not trying to, like, get sympathy or anything. I had fucking suicidal thoughts because every single day I didn't have a weekend because I would work on the weekends, Sunday and Saturday and Sunday, and then, like, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday as well after school. And then I had to manage that shit with karate as well as the theater shit. So I just, at some point, I eventually just quit working. Like, I was like, fuck you, Mom. Look, I hate this. I want the helipack. How do I equip the helipack instead of the thruster pack?
By that hydro displacer.
God, it's so stupid. I don't like the thruster pack. So I eventually ended up stopping working there, and then after high school, I basically just was like, yo, dude, look, I can't handle this shit. I can't have a job right now. But then, you know, I eventually I was sitting there just doing nothing for so long that I was like, you know what, maybe I should get a job. Yeah, that's a good idea, right? So I started working at my karate school, which I had actually quit going to and training for,
Of course, Ratchet knew he'd have to serve it.
for like 2 or 3 years. And so I'm coming back, and instantly, instead of being, you know, undergoing like training to get me back in my groove, I was just instantly teaching karate. And I actually liked teaching karate. Once I got back in the groove, for sure. At first it was kind of hard because I was so out of practice, but once I actually got into the groove, teaching karate wasn't a terrible thing. Like, I did it every single day for except for like Sunday and Friday. And I was basically running the karate school because my sensei was more about getting me to do all the teaching instead of while he can go like play in his rock band or whatever downtown Nashville. Anyway, he would yell at me a lot because, and I felt like it was no fault of my own that a lot of just societal like shit. Oh. He would yell at me a lot and blame me, or at least it seemed like he was blaming me for lower attendance when statistically in like over for the past like 20 years especially, fewer and fewer kids want to go to karate or go to martial arts class. And more parents who want to put them in martial arts classes kind of treat it more like a daycare than an actual like class where you learn shit. Point is, once again, I started to have suicidal thoughts, mostly because my sensei was just kind of like, I felt being like unnecessarily rude to me and blaming me for how the school was going when like honestly, dude, I thought I was a pretty damn good teacher. And I just feel like it was so many parents listen to their kids when their kids say, oh, Mom, I don't want to go to karate tonight. And the way that I got, dude, I was being paid so little because it was a contract job. So I was being paid literally $1 for every student that I would teach, like for 45 minutes. Because every class was 45 minutes. So sometimes only 5 fucking kids would show up. Other times, 20 kids will show up. But you never know. I felt like I was being underpaid because I would only get like $200 like every week. It's fucking crazy. And at the time I didn't realize that how little amount of money that was. I had to learn that the hard way. So I eventually quit there because I was thinking about like taking some of my pills to kill myself rather than, you know, wake up in the morning, which is not something I would wish on. Like, that's not a thought process I would wish on anybody, right? What the fuck? And so I quit there, and then like 2 weeks, literally 2 weeks after, I got a job at a movie theater because, you know, I was like, oh dude, I love going to see movies. I love seeing movies all the time. And I knew about the fact that if you work at Regal, at least, you get 2 free movies a day. You don't have to pay for movies at all if you want to go see them, like 2 movies a day or see a movie with a friend every day. You can. And I was just like, you know what? This is what I need. Because I see so many goddamn movies. And they mean so much to me. There we go. So I started working there. It was a nice perk. Here, let me get to that, Carl. So, you have to be an employee, like a floor staff, like just basic serving, tearing tickets, selling tickets, serving popcorn and shit. You have to be that on that level for 3 months before you can become a manager. But within the first week, I was approached by 3 separate managers asking me if I had managerial experience. And I was like, sorry, I don't. All I have, I mean, you saw my resume, right? Like, I just taught at a karate school for like 2 years. So, sort of, that's kind of management, but that's it. And then I was promoted to manager, which was, at the time, pretty fucking awesome. Because guess what? When you become a full-time manager... Well, I was part-time at first, but like 2 months later, I became full-time. When you become a full-time manager, you get 4 free tickets a day. So I could either see 4 movies every day, or bring 3 friends with me to see a movie every day. That shit was like that shit like meant so much to me. Like, I would actually see 4 movies a day. You can't sell the tickets. You can only use them for yourself or friends that are accompanying you. So yeah, I couldn't scalp them. But anyway, maybe I could have scalped them, but I would have gotten in trouble if somebody found out. Plus, I actually just wanted to use my tickets for myself. But anyway, everything was going fine. I was learning all the ins and outs of managing a movie theater. Blah blah blah. But then, like, the company was bought out by another, like, a larger company, and they started coming in and making so many changes in the system that just from a managerial like standpoint made absolutely no sense. They just made absolutely no sense. They made the job harder, and they caused more like customers to complain about shit, which is something that a manager on the job that like has to deal with, you know. So I had more and more people yelling at me for like something that is not at all my fault, and blah blah blah. The point is, after like 2 or 3 years of that, I got it like with that company constantly changing things. Just every day. Oh, you got to print out like these 15 pieces of paper. If you don't print out this piece of paper, you're gonna get fucking in trouble. And like all, just like the like, dude, why do I have to print out the shit on the paper when it's all backed up in the computer? Not just on our computers, but in this, like, the whole system. But anyway, I started to kind of like lose my mind, especially as more and more like new managers would come in, and I've been a manager longer than them, but like, or no, they've been a manager longer than me, but they worked at a small, not just this, the location that I worked at in downtown. Oh fuck. The location that I worked at is like to this day is still literally falling apart. Like at least once a week. Okay, so the theater has like it has 16 auditoria that I have to worry about, right? So 16 screens with 16 different movies playing all at the same time. Some starting at different times, of course, because that makes sense with you want to manage the traffic that's coming in. But 16 auditoria, and 14 of those auditoria are underground. Not just underground, under other like businesses, like fast food businesses. Because I was like in a pretty heavily trafficked downtown area. And so, here's the problem. Anytime, which was often, anytime that the company, or sorry, one of the companies above us, above one of those theaters, had like a water leakage, or they had a plumbing problem or something. All of the shit water, like literal shit water from like their bathrooms, would fall through our ceilings down onto like customers. And the what's it called? The ceiling, like pieces of the ceiling would start to fall down. And you never know when this is gonna happen. But it would happen like every week or every 2 weeks. Like that's how often it would happen. Plus we would constantly have like power outages that like no, and seriously, I know a lot of people who worked at like other theaters. These people, the people who worked at other theaters in the same chain, Regal, they wouldn't have these problems because first, A, they don't have underground theaters that are underneath other businesses. Secondly, I don't know what the problem was, but they wouldn't have constant like power outages. And I don't know about you guys, but if you know, Nowadays, all movie theaters, typically, unless you're an art house movie theater, have digital projectors. Meaning, if the power goes out in your building, in my building specifically, all 16 of the projectors would just instantly turn off. And you can never expect when that's going to happen. So I had to go up to, so I had to like say to the ushers, hey ushers, since the power's back on, everybody, I need you to walk, because sometimes it would just be like the power would go out for like 2 seconds, but that means that all of the projectors are turned off and like rebooting. And so I would say, hey ushers, I need you to go to like drop what you're doing over the mic, over the walkie-talkies. And I'd be like, guys, I need you to go drop whatever you're doing. I don't care what you're doing right now. Get back to it later. You need to go to, systematically, from the start of the hallway downstairs, go to every single auditorium and announce that the movies will be starting, like, soon. Restarting. We had a power outage. And, like, this would happen routinely. Like, it's, I don't know, dude. Anyway, we would get a lot of people who are from other theaters transferred over to the theater, and they have no clue what to expect with our theater in particular, because our theater is just fucking bonkers. And they wouldn't even know how to count money at the end of the day. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever had managerial jobs. No, it is bananas. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever had a managerial job where you, like, you know, you close out the day and you have to count all the money. And, you know, delegate some, like, your profits to the bank.
Mr. Zircon is bored.
At the end of the day, you had to consolidate your money, because guess what? It's a pretty simple concept, but for some reason, some people had no fucking clue why it was so important. So for example, I'm not commenting on this person's character or anything, just her work ethic and her, like, the way that she saw what was important in the workspace as a manager. She came from another theater that was a lot smaller, didn't have like chicken tenders or hamburgers, or they didn't have a kitchen. All they ever sold was candy and popcorn and sodas, right? Whereas at our theater, we were deluxe, kind of a deluxe theater, so we would sell, like, you know, meals. And so she never knew anything about that. Her theater never had these things called Fathom events, which are special screenings of, like, older movies or movies that are just not gonna be widespread. Never had to deal with that. But then she comes in, and the first day that I have to close with her, you know, you count out every register, whatever. At the beginning of the day, you put
An O2 mask. Now I can finally breathe
Yep.
underwater.
At the beginning of the day, depending on how busy you're gonna be, like say, let's just say on a Monday morning, the opening managers, like, if I were an opening manager, I would only put out 2, maybe 3, like fill up completely 2, maybe 3 concessions, like, registers. You know, you don't want to put too much money out there, especially if it's not going to be used. You want to put out as much as you think is going to be used. But at the end of the day, it's always a different manager because the opening manager is not the closing manager, obviously. So, if you guys don't know what a drop is, I don't know if you guys have managerial experience. A drop is where periodically through the day, when you've had plenty of business and, you know, a set is done, like all the movies have started, you have like 30 to 40 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes to restock the concessions, which is what the employees should do. The managers, while they're doing that, are supposed to go to every single register that has money in it and take the profits out, right? As well as make sure there are enough pennies, nickels, dimes, ones, fives. Don't really worry about the 10s or the 20s. You take the 10s or the 20s out. And then you include those in the drop, and the drop is what goes straight to the bank, right? The 10s and the 20s, sometimes 5s. And like maybe a few little, like a few cents. Anyway, there was a person who transferred from another theater, and she would come in, and the first time that I closed with her, which is when you make your biggest drop, when you close, I realized she wouldn't consolidate. So she would take all the money out of the registers, right? Like you're supposed to. But she wouldn't like take 2 10s and turn them in and just swap them out for a 20 that was in the bank or in the safe. She wouldn't take 5 pennies and swap them out for a nickel. That, you know, she wouldn't do that stuff. Does that make sense? And me as just she used to be a first assistant at another theater. So I thought that she would know this kind of shit. Like, if... So I actually, like, I didn't want to get her in trouble, but I did make a complaint to my general manager that, hey, I don't want to, like, get anyone in trouble, but I do think that this new person doesn't understand just how important it is at our high, like, volume, high, like, popular theater. Just how much it matters that we save all of the pennies, nickels, and dimes that we can. Because if we run out of pennies, nickels, and dimes, how are we going to give people change? And ones as well. Ones. And my manager understood what I was trying to say. I didn't say it in a way that, like, I didn't hate the person. I just, like, was very frustrated that when I pointed it out to her personally, she took it personal. When I was just trying to say, look, oh fuck. When I was just trying to say, look, we need to consolidate our money. And so for the next, like, month after she joined our theater, once a week, one of our managers had to literally grab hundreds, 20s, and 10s out of our safe and then drive in their own personal car to the Bank of America to get some ones or some pennies or some nickels or dimes or whatever. Because we literally could not just give people change back for when they paid with a 20 or something. And it was all because, and we never had that problem ever until she started working there. But the fact that she used to be a first assistant, like, dude, a manager at a theater should never leave the theater with, like, $200. That should never happen. Ever. That's why we have the you know, the armored trucks, like people come and deal with that with the money, you know? Like, that's some bullshit. Like, that's some fucking bullshit. And so stuff like that just kind of started, like, as well as the building falling apart and me thinking, oh man, so many people who are coming here are not having the experience that I would want to expect from a movie theater experience, a movie going experience. And so I would actually get like really, really stressed out and upset about this because I knew, because I want anyone who's going to see a movie to have the best experience possible. Because if I went to that movie theater, I would want to have the best experience possible. I care about the movie going experience. But there are so many like factors that, especially at that theater, that just fucked it all up. And so I kind of started to have a mental breakdown. And this was before I was my entire life my mom has had me on medication, like even when which to an extent, even when I was too young. I think I was like 2 or 3 years old and my mom was like talking to doctors and just getting medication from doctors about like to help, like depression meds and shit like that. When, look, dude, I'm like a 2 or 3 year old. Like, of course I'm gonna fucking cry when I don't get what I want. That's up to you to figure out. That's not. I don't know if that's a sign of mental illness yet, at 2 or 3. But then again, I'm not a psychologist, so I don't know. But the point is, I started to have a mental breakdown, so I actually took a leave from Regal. And I just tried to figure out what was going on. I actually finally really talked to a psychiatrist. All that stuff. I was diagnosed with obsessive compulsive disorder, bipolar 1, and agoraphobia. Which is kind of bullshit because agoraphobia isn't one of the mental health tags that you can tag in Twitch. I've tweeted Twitch about it. I think they should add it. But anyway, I took a leave. I came back. Everything was fine, but then everything started going downhill again. And at some point, I had such a mental breakdown that when I had a scheduled, like, meeting with my psychiatrist, the day before, or the 2 days before, I literally just did not sleep. You guys know how I, like, stream for, like, 16, 19 hours? No problem. I've always had a problem sleeping in my life, but I didn't sleep for, like, hours and hours and hours. And I knew and I was kind of stressed out because I don't like leaving the house, and I don't like, and I'm kind of scared to talk to, or at the time at least, I was scared to talk to my psychiatrist. And so I had a psychiatrist appointment, and when I got, like, the night before, I didn't have a nightmare. I wouldn't call it a nightmare because I wasn't sleeping, but it was basically kind of like a nightmare. In which case, like, I was having memories from my past, whether they were real or not, and they fucking terrified me. Like, for instance, here, I'll just tell you. So, like, that night before, the night that I'm talking about, before my No, yeah, it's not fun stuff. I'm glad that I can share it with you guys though. The night before I was supposed to go to that psychiatrist appointment, which is normal. Psychiatrist appointments are normal, you know. The night before, remember, I hadn't slept for like 25 to 36 hours. I don't even remember. It was over 24 hours, possibly 36. And I was like in the middle of a manic episode. If you guys don't know how bipolar disorder works, there's you go through depressive episodes and manic episodes, right? Especially with bipolar 1. And the depressive episodes are the ones where you just cannot get up off you just can't get out of bed. You don't see a point. You don't want you cannot get yourself to get out of bed. It sounds irrational, but that's how mental illness is. And then manic episodes are where, honestly, I prefer depressive episodes, no matter how bad they feel. Manic episodes are where you feel like you see a problem in the world or something. You want, and you feel like you can do everything to solve the problem. But you also know that it's completely pointless because you can't do anything. Like, so you have like a cognitive like dissonance. Like, you're like, oh, I'm gonna fucking like organize my entire fucking apartment. Everything's gonna be fucking great from here on out. But also, fucking entropy. I'm gonna fucking like just lose it. Like, so I was in the middle of a manic episode, and so I go to the my psychologist that day, and I start hyperventilating because she's asking me questions. Because she, like, as I could tell that as soon as I walked in, she knew that I was, like, going through something. And, I forgot to tell you. The night before, so, I don't know if it's a real memory or not. It doesn't matter. The point is, it felt like a real memory. So, Carl. If it's real or not, either way, I'm gonna tell you the story like as if it were real, okay? So, I remember a time where shortly after my dad left my mom and they got divorced, or were in the process of being divorced at least, my mom had to go to like Walmart, and she was like getting food from the food section in Walmart. But I found like a Batman. Do you know about Batman Beyond? I found because I loved that show, Batman Beyond, when I was young. I found a Batman Beyond figure, and I was like, oh, Mom, can we get this? And she's like, no, you have to bring that back. And back to where it was. But then we were in the food section, and I still had the Batman Beyond, like, thing in my hand. So I was like, are you going to bring it back with me? And I don't know if this actually happened or not. I could have just been having an episode like I was saying. I don't know. I remember being sad that I couldn't get this toy. So and my mom seemed frustrated with me as far as I could remember. So I just kind of walked away from her and thought I could find out where the toy section was so I could put the toy back. Rather than just like putting it anywhere like a lot of people do, so that, you know, the people who work there can, you know, bring it back to where it goes. Me as a little kid, I got lost in the Walmart. And I don't know why it was like bothering me that night. I have no clue. I couldn't sleep. It's just something that I was thinking of. It was like a nightmare, but like during the day, like while I was awake. Well, it was at night, but while I was awake is what I mean. And so I call my mom that night, in the middle of the night. Yeah, see, I don't know if I actually got lost in the Walmart, or if that's something that I'm just, like, misremembering. If I actually was lost, which I don't know, it's a fucking scary experience for a little kid, isn't it? Yeah, it's really fucking scary. And, whether I was lost or not in real life, I was feeling the consequences of it. And I don't know why it came back into my mind when I was going through this manic episode, but it did. And so I went to I finally I still never slept. I cried all night. I called my mom in the middle of the night, and she starts yelling at me. I don't blame her. I don't think she understood what I was going through. But it made everything worse. It made everything worse. Because I called my mom and I was like, Mom, do you happen to remember a time when I wanted to get a Batman toy, but then I got lost in the Walmart? And she was like, look, clown. She didn't call me clown. Clown, look. I'm trying to sleep. Fuck you. Or she didn't say fuck me, but she was like trying to yell like, why are you waking me up for this? Blah, 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 blah. Which fucking freaked me out even more. Because I was like, I was looking for help. I was looking for reassurance. And the one person in the entire world who I felt like could help me at that time just saw me as an annoyance. And that just made my night, that night, so much worse. And then I didn't even talk to her. And then, you know, I drove to the what's it called? The psychiatrist's office, which happens to be, which is kind of crazy. It's in the same building where not even the same building, the same floor, like 3 to 4 rooms away from where my mom works. I was talking to a psychiatrist and she knew right from when I walked into the room that there was something wrong. That I was like losing my shit. So she started asking me questions, and then I started telling her about the whole Batman toy shit. And of course, to someone who of course that sounds fucking crazy. Why are you worried about a Batman toy? Why are you worried about getting lost in why does... But anyway, she sent me to that hospital's psych ward. And that was the first time I've ever been in a psych ward. And the craziest thing is, dude, it's so fucking... I don't think you've ever been in a psych ward, Carl. You don't have to tell me if you haven't. That's completely up to you. It's one of the scariest experiences you can honestly... I don't think psych wards are very helpful. I think they just make it worse. Superwife has. So yeah, maybe Superwife and I can connect on this. I walked in, right? There was a guy who was just like, okay, follow me. And I'm just like, fucking like crying my eyes out, like losing my mind. Because I have no fucking clue what to expect with all this shit. And this guy brings me to a waiting room, and I'm just sitting there, and I'm going, oh my god, what's happening? And then somebody comes out, and they don't bring me through the front door of the psych ward. They bring me through this back secret door, and they put me in this room where I have to sit there, and then 4 or 5 different doctors come in, and they ask me questions. But the questions they ask me are like, they just seem to be to exacerbate my problem. You visited Superwife? Hey, at least you visited her, yeah. Yeah, that is the context of the Twitter post, yeah. Well, that's kind of why I was like, yeah, that's why I didn't stream yesterday, was because I was thinking about that. And I just thought it was better for me not to feel things, and like now I'm not feeling it, I'm telling it, you know, that's different. So I feel more comfortable now. Yesterday I did not feel very well mentally. You know what I mean? And I'm really glad that you guys are here to just listen. You know what I mean? That's honestly, you guys are kind of therapists at this point. But anyway, I go into this room and I know I'm on camera, right? And I know that everyone who's coming into the room has been viewing me on camera, and they're asking me questions. One lady came in and she put on a mask. Like, this was like before COVID, so I never even thought about COVID. But she put on a mask, and like she was like, "Look, I'm putting this on just to protect myself." And I'm like, "Protect yourself from what, bitch? I'm not fucking like physically sick. What the fuck are you trying?" Like, that just kind of threw me off. And then you know the worst part though? You know the worst part? One of the doctors came in and he said, "Hi, I'm Dr. Lynch." No, I didn't spit venom. I kind of wish I could though. Wouldn't that be cool? Like that dude, like Reptile in Mortal Kombat, yeah. No, this guy came in, Dr. Lynch, and so the first, literally, to try to connect with him, whereas he probably saw this as, okay, this guy's like fucking losing it. He doesn't even know what he's like, what he's talking about. But you know, I just said, "Oh, your name is Dr. Lynch. Do you know about the filmmaker David Lynch?" Like, I just asked him, and he looked at me like I was fucking insane. Fucking insane. Which made it even worse, because with David Lynch movies, you know, they're kind of fucking insane. So I don't know. I felt like when I was being like brought into that room, and just multiple people would come by, and I knew that I was on camera, I didn't know how to act, because I didn't. First off, I didn't want to come across as someone who's completely insane, because I don't think I am completely insane, right? But I also was going through a manic episode and didn't want to, I just didn't, like, oh my god. I didn't want to misrepresent myself, but I think I did, since I was going through a manic episode. And yeah, probably bringing up David Lynch in that aspect, where a doctor was coming in to ask me how I'm doing, what I'm thinking. Maybe I shouldn't have started just like small talking about movies. But hey, anyway, I got put in a psych ward for a whole week. And dude, I was put not like there are different segments, there are different. What the fuck are we trying to do? We need to go over there. There are different segments of a psych ward, right? I was actually put in the schizophrenic, like, segment. So, I'm not judging the people who are schizophrenic or who suffer from that, like, you know, hallucinations and all that stuff. Because I haven't been diagnosed with that, but I do have to say, it kind of fucked me up because I was thinking I was being, like, I didn't know what the doctor. Also, dude, Carl, maybe if you want to ask, and you can always DM me if you don't, if she wants, if Superwife wants to tell, like, talk to, like, you know. No, yeah, I was in there for a whole week. But no, it wasn't just any psych ward. It wasn't like a psych ward with, like, heroin addicts or something, right? It was a psych ward with legitimate, like, schizophrenic, like, fucking people who just do not live on the same plane of reality as we do. Which, so, the people I was surrounded by made me feel even more like I was fucking insane. Even though I've actually never been diagnosed with schizophrenia. Or, I've never had hallucinations outside of taking LSD. And, yeah, I don't know, man. There were a lot of things that a lot of people try to connect with me about in that psych ward, and I just could not connect with them. Like, there was this one guy who was like, and he was there before I was, and there after I left. And like, one thing that he came up to me and said one time, dude, have you, like, ever seen a video of yourself being raped and then killed the person who made that video? And I'm just like, no. I've never even contemplated that. But that's like a person that I met. I don't know, dude. Psych wards are fucking freaky. And I went to a psych ward a second time, but the second time was less about my own manic episode and more about substance abuse. I did try to take LSD to try to help, like, try to expand my mind or whatever I was convinced of at the time. But obviously, I've learned now that you should only be taking psychedelics or any kind of drug especially of that magnitude, if a doctor is, like, trying to help you with it. But yeah, I've spent the entirety of 2 weeks in a psych ward. 2 separate psych wards. The other time was I took more than a heroic dose. So if you know what a heroic dose of LSD is, that's 500 micrograms of LSD. I took 750. I took 750 micrograms of LSD. Because I was just that desperate to try to. No, yeah, it wasn't good. It like that was like one of the worst things I've ever done. That was like, and I was actually like convinced because I was just so desperate. Because none of the like therapy or like the psychological drugs were helping me, so I stopped taking all those drugs and I just took 750 micrograms of LSD. 250 more than a heroic dose, which is what a lot of deadhead chemists like LSD people call a heroic dose, 500 micrograms. And so what game is this? This is Alf 2. Welcome in, Flu. But yeah, I took that much because I was honestly so desperate at the time that I wanted to restructure my brain. Like, I honestly didn't give a shit. I wanted to make, I was thinking that the LSD could restructure my brain, blah, 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 make me think better about the world than I was feeling. But when I took that much, something that calms me down, something that brings me comfort is taking a shower. Taking like a nice warm shower with all the lights off and just like actually like literally sitting in the shower and just letting the water and the sound of the water just completely drown out all of my thoughts. However, when I was tripping on that much LSD, I actually started feeling like, oh my god, the water's fucking burning me. And so like I got up and I turned off the water